Hey, what's up? It's Tony. I hope you enjoyed the video you're about to watch and you get some useful information from there that you can utilize in your own life so that you can have a healthier, much more enjoyable lifespan. Don't forget to like and subscribe. One of the things that I've done is that I know that is very, very important as we get older is I've kept learning. And that's been really, really important. And it wasn't intentional. It was simply because of, things that had happened in my life and that I had to pivot, which is also too in another video about pivoting, is I started to learn things out of necessity and go down the rabbit hole of research and development. And it has been amazing in terms of keeping me excited about life and all that it has to offer and what this next chapter means to me. Let me give you, for instance, I was an okay student. I just did, what I did to get by, even in college, and I got through it, and as I found in my older ages that now, when I apply myself to something that I'm excited about, right, there is something that opens up in my mind and gives me so much joy. And when I went through my ailment and my sickness and everything, I had to learn a lot about an area of, health that I knew nothing about. It was completely foreign to me. And so what I ended up doing was, through my lived experience, which most of us at this age have many years behind us in lived experiences, is that I decided not to accept something for the way it was. This was the catheter that I had to endure for many, many, many months. And as a user, I thought to myself, because it was so uncomfortable, that there has to be a better way. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm just me. And so I started to sort of ask the question of, why is this the way it is? Why have there been no innovations in terms of like the user and it being user friendly? And so instead of just letting the question go, I decided to deep dive into it and start to educate myself on what it was and the materials and where it originated from, and are there new developments in voiding urine, and there weren't. And basically what I did was I allowed myself not to feel like, oh my God, I'm not a doctor, why am I even exploring this? What do I know? I'm not smart, I let that all go, because at the end of the day, who cares? Doesn't matter if I'm not a doctor or not. I'm a user of this particular device and I'm going to learn about it. All this to say is that I do believe that education and educating yourself and being current and learning something new, whether it's a language or taking an invention like I did with the catheter, because I took that all the way through the patent process and I knew nothing about catheters and moldings and geometry and all this other stuff. I knew nothing about patents and how to get a patent, what was involved in the steps and the processes, but I loved it and I felt that it was exposing me to something outside of what I'd normally been in, which was this very sort of tunnel vision world, and it has been amazing. It makes me feel so excited to learn, right? And then to implement what I've learned and then take it as far as I can possibly take it, whether it's to fruition and what have you, which is still remains to be seen. We're in the process of the new catheter, but the joy of learning and getting this mind outside of what it normally does has been exponentially important to how I feel about getting older and getting to 60 and what the next hopefully 40 years is going to represent. So whatever it is that you want to learn or you are curious about, follow through, because it will lead you to places that bring you so much joy. It will lead you for individual joy, but I've met incredible people along the way by educating myself and learning about something new that I have found to be so wonderful, because it's a world that, like most of us, we just get sort of insular in our own little vacuum and we sort of just stay there and live there, and it can be boring actually, because, well, we've been doing it for so long. But to expose your mind to something else has been phenomenal. Like working out, for instance, too. I knew nothing about working out, zero, right? You know, and it showed when I went to the gym. But educating myself and asking questions and sharing my ideas and learning and then implementing, because, you know, it's one thing to learn for learning's sake, that's great, but if you want to implement, that's another thing, that's another layer which you can add to your life as well. So all this to say is learning about something new, whether it's something you're passionate about or curious about or it directly benefits your health, you know, right, is a wonderful way to step outside of the mundane, outside of the routine, outside of the Groundhog Day, same thing all the time. The exposure to ideas and things that you never knew existed, the exposure to opening your mind to exploring maybe, you know, a new idea, right, is absolutely wonderful, and I think quite possibly critical in our further development as we get older. And that's one of the things that I've done and one of the things I will keep on doing, because it has added so much richness to my life, and it also too doesn't require pretty much anybody else. You know, I can do it when I feel like it, and it's been quite wonderful. And so I'm doing way better because I'm learning at my own speed, however fast or slow I want to, as opposed to when I was in school. So that's the tip, right? Keep on learning, whatever that happens to be.